Hey y'all, and welcome to episode 2 of the mini twist vlog. Be sure to check out my last 2 videos so you know how we got here. At this point, I've had the twist in for about 9 days and my scalp is so itchy and irritated. I'm not quite ready to take them down yet, so I'm going through my normal wash day and keeping the twists in. I'm starting off with the Rev-Air Cleansing Oil Shampoo and applying it to the lengths of my twists and my scalp. Much like the first episode in this series, it is pretty lengthy because I was chatting during the takedown process. I do have some chapters listed in the description box, so feel free to skip around and see what parts that you would like. However, I would prefer if you stay and watch the entirety of the video because I promise at the end it'll all make sense. You're not supposed to do it like this. It's actually the other order. You're supposed to do the rinse first, then the shampoo. But my scalp just is so irritated right now. After rinsing, I'm conditioning with the Giovanni Invigorating Conditioner using the same process as before with less emphasis on the scalp. To refresh my twist, I used Pattern Moisture Milk and Design Essentials Almond and Avocado Mousse, applying them to the length of my twist and retwisting if needed. Once I finished, I sat under the dryer for about 45 minutes. Okay, so it is December 7th, it's 10:08. I actually have to meet up with my mom and my sister for brunch at 11. So I'm going to attempt to take these mini twists down, and while I do that, we're just gonna chat about how I'm feeling about these twists and just life in general. I normally don't talk while I'm doing my hair. I usually just vibe out to some music or I'm listening to an audiobook, but I figure, you know, why not kill two birds with one stone and just talk about it while I'm doing this, since this process is going to take some time anyway. Mini twists are always a challenge for me, and not in the sense that it takes long to do or that it's time consuming, because that really isn't a concern for me. It's more so like keeping one hairstyle in for that long. I'm a wash and go person, and after a while, depending on how like the results of my wash and go, I might just turn it into another hairstyle. If I'm doing like product combos or, you know, any partnerships, I end up going through different products and combinations pretty often, so I feel like I end up washing my hair more often. But when I have mini twists in, this is the longest that I'm going without really styling my hair and washing my hair. Kind of the same as if I were to get braids. But honestly, like, braids don't even last in my head. You got a good week. I give it 10 days before I'm just like, yeah, this gotta come out. And I've noticed some things when it comes down to that. So when I first started my natural hair journey, I mean, pretty much like everyone else, especially during that time, I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was learning from the videos that I was watching on YouTube. Like YouTube University. I am definitely an alum when it comes to certain things. But during that time, I was co-washing more than I was actually washing. Like, I was shampooing my hair maybe once a month. Twice if it was a month where I had like track meets and stuff. But maybe once a month. I thought that was working for me during the time. But I noticed that my hair was dry. And once I got to college, I think I started washing a little bit more, but the water in the state that I live in and the state that I went to college in is not the best. So I did have some damage from the water on campus, even though I was in denial about that for a little while. It wasn't until I cut my hair off in 2018 and it was shorter, so I was kind of like forced to wash it a little bit more often, that I realized that I need to be washing my hair more often. Like, I need to be shampooing regularly. With my hair being short, I was washing my hair all the time. And since I'm a wash and go person, I love a stronghold gel. I'm trying to get into the habit of using just one product, but I have a habit of layering my products. So that's a lot that's just sitting on my hair throughout the week. And I would just be co-washing and not fully shampooing, and then wondering why my styles are flaking, why my hair was dry when it was longer in the past. So having short hair kind of helped me come to terms with the fact that for my hair and my hair needs, I need to be washing my hair shampoo at least once a week. And I've noticed that since I've gone natural, it is so hard for me to keep protective styles in for longer than a week. And that's because I feel like my body and my scalp is on a schedule, to the point to where after maybe, I'd say 7 to 10 days, sometimes it's 5, but it really just depends on the product combo, my scalp is itching and it needs to be washed. A lot of times when I go and I wash my hair and I take my shower and then I restyle my hair, it's like a reset, not only with my scalp and my hair, but also just my mood. Because once my hair is done, I'm always in a better mood. I feel better about myself, I feel better about the future and all of those things. So it's like therapy for me. And when I have to go, or when I try to go long periods of time without, you know, washing my hair or being on that schedule, it's like, dang, I'm missing my therapy session. Every time I do mini twists, I challenge myself to work on my patience. I can be impulsive. And I'm the type of person where once I make my mind up about something, I need to take action like now. It needs to be dealt with right away, because otherwise it's like gonna lose its importance to me pretty much. And I'm always just expecting things to happen right away instead of waiting. So I always challenge myself with these mini twists, because I'm like, keep your hands out of your head for a few weeks, which is hard when your hair changes like your mood and the weather. But it's a challenge to keep my hands out of my hair, be consistent with something, and to just wait. wait things out. And right now, I am in a waiting season in my life. If you've seen my Get Ready With Me chit chat video, if not, I will list it up in the cards. I did lose my job back in October. It is now December. I am still unemployed. And honestly, I'm not upset about it. This is the longest that I've been unemployed outside of the pandemic. And I really just been chilling. I figured that by now, because I'm so used to working, I would not know what to do with myself. And I would be like, you know, feeling down. But this is probably the happiest I've been and like the most stress-free that I've been. So since I don't have a job, I have a lot more downtime. So that's a lot more time to take time on my hair, get my content out, and just work on other things that I didn't really have a chance to do when I was so busy with work. So the first few weeks of unemployment, I was just constantly on job boards, just looking up different job postings, applying to jobs. I would say within like those first 2 weeks, I probably applied to like a good 100, 150 jobs. I didn't keep track, but it was a lot. I know that for a fact. I was like every hour I was doing it, and then I would try to stop myself and do something else, like play the game, read a book, distract myself. But if I was sitting by myself too long, I'm thinking, oh no, I need to be looking for a job right now. Like I need to be looking. And it was getting to the point to where I was like worrying myself. I was getting anxious. And then the first was coming up, rent was due, car note, car insurance, like everything due. And I'm still waiting on my last check from my old job. I had some money, but I only had enough money to pay a few things at that time. Not everything. And I was stressed. I had to just stop. I had to stop myself, and I had to pray. And just ask that God, you know, frees me from that, and that I take the time to just slow down and let Him do His work. Because the things that I'm stressing over are things that I already prayed about, and I called myself giving to Him. But I'm still worrying myself sick over something that's outside of my control, because I feel like it needs to happen on my time or when I think it should happen. And I've been having to just keep that in practice lately, because I've been good. It's probably only been like one other time where I had to just stop myself and really just give it to God, because I was trying to be in control. But I can say like that has helped tremendously, because I feel like if I hadn't prayed about it and just laid it all down, I would still be anxious and applying to jobs all day like a crazy person. I just really have to remind myself, like, girl, it's more to life than working. And when I was working, I just felt like it was taken away from my quality of life, because I was just spending so much time at work. I saw my coworkers more than I saw anybody else. And I was just like, this cannot be normal. Ain't no way. I did have a job interview. The interview went pretty well. I probably should have asked them specifically like how long it was going to take before they were going to make their decision. That was my mistake for not asking that. Because if I did, then I probably wouldn't be as like worried about it. But when I put these mini twists in, I had the mindset that I was going to keep them in during this interview process, and by the time I hear back from them, I'm going to take the mini twists out. Well, it's been over a week. We're a few days away from 2 weeks since I last interviewed and spoke with them. My friends encouraged me to reach out to them just to kind of touch base, ask for feedback. So I did reach out to the lab director, but he hasn't responded. So I kind of got to a point to where I was like, I'm tired of these twists. I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious because I haven't heard back. So in my mind, like, if you're not calling me right away, you must have given it to somebody else. And that's just because in my mind, when I want stuff, it's just supposed to happen instantly instead of waiting. And it's crazy that I'm still expecting instant gratification from something that God made me wait for. I applied to this job months ago and just interviewed last week. I applied to this job back when I still had my old job. And even then, because I didn't hear back from them, I tried to follow up on my application. I didn't hear back. I'm thinking, okay. And then I see that the application was closed. I'm like, okay, they found somebody, moving on, whatever. And they ended up reaching out to me late November. So I'm like, okay, I just completely wrote this job off because they didn't respond in the time frame that I gave them, as if I'm the boss and I'm the one that's controlling all of this, when really I should have just sat there and ate my food and let God do what he's gonna do. And that's kind of where I've been at lately. So I've just been a little stressed over that. I had to pray. And it was kind of funny because I was driving back home from visiting my boyfriend. So I was on the road, 2-hour drive. And I was thinking about how I wanted to go home and take my hair down and wash it. Wasn't even going to wear the twist out. Just going to wash my hair, call it a day. And I was just going to move on from the job because they hadn't called me back. And I was just tired. I was just tired of waiting. And while I was doing that, on this particular drive, when I would make this drive earlier in the year, I still had a job. So I would usually be driving home, getting on the road, going straight to work. So leaving out early in the morning. And that would cause me to want to rush. And I would get really frustrated because in Louisiana, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like this everywhere. But in Louisiana, I feel like they have like the dumbest drivers. And they just be driving slow in the fast lane, and it really be testing my patience. So typically I'm like rushing, heart rate is kind of high on the trip home. But since I don't have a job, I don't really have to rush on my way home. And I didn't leave early in the morning, I left in the afternoon, so I really could just take my time. The weather was nice, so I was just taking my time driving. And I was just thinking about like the difference from how I went from rushing and being impatient to just driving at a moderate pace. It actually did really good for my gas mileage, so I definitely will be doing that again. But driving at a moderate pace and really just taking the time to be present and soak everything in and think. And I was like, and I'm over here being impatient about a job that I haven't heard from, when I really just need to sit back and kind of let time pass and focus on other things. So I really debated about taking these twists down for a while because I'm like, I'm not being patient if I take them down. I feel like I'm really not being patient if I wash it again, which is why I'm taking it down and we're just going to wear a twist out. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so I just took them all down. I think I got all of them. But this is what we're working with. Using a small amount of the Design Essentials custard, I'm separating the twist out even more by unraveling the strands and curling the ends around my finger with the custard on it. I learned this tip from Regina Ashley for a more voluminous but defined twist out. This was my hair after separating, and it looks so much better. I prefer a more full and voluminous fro that looks closer to my natural shape. So this was a way better outcome than if I would have left it in its defined state before I separated the curls. Since it was late in the day, I put my hair in a pineapple and slapped my bonnet on and went to bed. So I'm excited to do that. But anyway, I'm running a little behind, so let's get this hair underway. It has so much movement and definition, like my washi goes do not be like this. So it is now 6:02 and I'm back from the perfume making class, and I just want to say God put it in my heart to be there for a reason. Like, I'm so glad that I went. Today was a really good day, a blessed Sunday. I'm just so grateful and thankful for my community, for the people in my life. Every person that I come across, good interaction or bad interaction, they impact me in a way that changes me forever. Like, I'm all constantly evolving, constantly learning, constantly being inspired and encouraged by the people around me. So for those people who feel like you have to do it alone, you don't. You can't. Period. I'm living in answered prayers and I'm grateful. I am not stressed out like I was last year. I'm living stress-free. This was my hair on the last day of my twist out. It lasted about 6 days and honestly could have lasted longer. I still had a lot of shine and definition, but my scalp was over it. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.